That might be my cover of the week right there. It's so cool. Hello everybody and welcome back into Jar's Toy Emporium. My name is Jacob and yes, it is a new comic book Wednesday. So we are currently on our lunch break at work. We are running to the comic shop so we don't have to go after we get off work to give us a little bit of extra time to get this video edited and uploaded. But I think we have a pretty solid pull list this week. Excited about a few comics in particular, but without further ado, let's head to the comic shop. And here we are at Gotham City Limit. Now, the first comic that caught my eye was Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu. I think this is one of my favorite comics that I look forward to every week, but check out this amazing Dr. Doom cover. I think that looks fantastic, and one of the cool things that I've noticed about getting closer to the Fantastic Four release is there's lots of cool variants. You guys are going to see another one coming up here in just a second for Spider-Boy that also has the thing on it. I think that's really cool, and it's really exciting with Fantastic Four coming out later this year that we're getting like these Fantastic Four covers. Really neat, but Ultimate X-Men issue number 11 is something that I'm super pumped for. There is Seasons 1 right there by Image, and then they also had Blood Train here. Now, I came very close to picking this one up because it's interesting, but my reading list is already long enough, and then they had a couple of Arcbound issue number 3s lying around. Now, DC had a very light week this week, and I actually did not have anything from DC that I picked up, but there is Lex in the City, and they actually had a couple of Absolute Batman issue number 4 cover A still in stock, which was super surprising to me, but nonetheless very cool. Now, this is one I am excited about, The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution, issue 4. Can't wait to get into that. They did have Knights vs. Samurais, which is something I want to get into, but I'm already behind enough as is. And guys, TMNT, and check out that Kevin Eastman cover. Love Kevin Eastman art. It's so nostalgic looking for me. I just like seeing it. So usually I try to pick up all the Eastman covers. But nonetheless, that is most of the things that I'm excited for this week. This is the new comic book table. Love looking through it, but let's get on out of here. Alrighty guys, so we just got done at the comic shop. As you saw, they had some pretty awesome stuff in there, but my lunch is about over, so I gotta head back to work. After work, we will go over all the pulls that we got, show off some of the stuff, and we're actually going to go over our reading goals for 2025. So it's going to be a fun video. Make sure to stay tuned for the whole video, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. But let's get back to work. Alrighty guys, so we are obviously back in the studio, fresh off my day of work, and we got a few comics to go through, and then we're going to go over some reading goals, so let's get right into it. So we did pick up 5 comics this week, and 2 of them are actually TMNT issue number 6. So here is the cover A variant, looking super, super good as always, but I absolutely love picking up the Kevin Eastman variants, and this just might be the best TMNT cover that we have gotten so far, in my opinion. As you can see, we have all of the turtles on here with some flames in the background and that classic Kevin Eastman art. I think this looks so, so good. This has been one of my favorite things to read. Now, if you guys didn't know, The Last Ronin is actually the very first comic that I ever read. So I picked it up last year, about midway through the year. I didn't have a local comic shop next to me, so getting like regular single issues of comics was really, really hard. I'd have to order them, and I had to pay shipping and all that stuff, so I'd end up paying like $10 for one issue of a comic. It really just wasn't worth it at the time. So when we finally moved down here to Florida and I had a brand new comic shop, that's when I was like, okay, sweet, I can finally start getting into comics, which is something I have wanted to do for such a long time. Obviously, The Last Ronin being the first comic I ever read, I wanted to read more Ninja Turtles. So I went to the comic shop and I asked them, I was like, hey, where should I start? There's been so many versions of Turtles, so much stuff. And literally the week that I went in there is when issue number 1 of the new TMNT run came out. Perfect timing, and so I've been keeping up with it ever since then, and it's been fantastic. I have loved this version of the Turtles. It's been super cool. But yeah, like I said, I try to pick up all the Kevin Eastman variants, because like, look at that. That might be my cover of the week right there. It's so cool. But yeah, so issue number 6 of TMNT, and then we picked up both the cover A, and I guess this is probably, yeah, the cover B. So super, super cool with these ones. So staying right in lines with Turtles, because it's kind of a big Turtle week for me, we have TMNT The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution here, issue number 4. So obviously I'm keeping up with The Last Ronin 2. If The Last Ronin was my first comic that I ever read, anything Last Ronin, I am all game. Like, I love it. I love the concept of it. And it's just so fun. Like, it's super cool. Obviously, some amazing artwork here. Again, the covers look so, so good. And that was one of the things I thought was awesome about The Last Ronin. Still trying to pick up, I think I need 2 more first printings of The Last Ronin to be complete for the single issues on that. But I am complete on The Last Ronin 2 so far. So yeah, super excited to read this. I can't get enough of Turtles, and obviously I can't get enough of Last Ronin, so super excited to continue reading with issue number 4. Now, switching gears over to Marvel, we actually have Ultimate X-Men issue number 11. I really like this black and white cover here, and I've sang enough praises of the Ultimate Universe, and it's fantastic. But I am not caught up on Ultimate X-Men yet. I'm quite a few issues behind. It's been one of those things that, from what I did read, it was fantastic. I don't remember the last issue I read, if that tells you anything. So I need to get back into reading this one because it's super good. But yeah, Ultimate X-Men issue number 11. Again, another sweet cover. I just love the Ultimate covers. I like how they do like the name here, then you got a line, it switches to like some colors and stuff like that. But yeah, Ultimate X-Men issue number 11. Hopefully I catch up this weekend. And then rounding out our pickups for the week, we have Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu, issue number 4. I love this cover. Now, there was another cover that I saw at the comic shop that was a variant that looked better than this one, in my opinion. I actually probably pointed that out to you guys when I was there. But yeah, I try to stick with the cover A's on certain things. Like, obviously, I picked up the Eastman variant for TMNT. So special variants of like special artists and stuff like that, I do like to pick up. But for the Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu, I've just been sticking with the cover A's. This is a really cool cover A's. You guys can see like right here, you can see like the cops. I believe those are cops, yeah. The cops and like the mirror. I think that's super, super cool. Obviously, he's going to town. You got some donuts flying over here. So really, really cool cover. But that other cover, for some reason, I just liked the presence that Moon Knight had on it. But yeah, Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu. This is one I am up to date on. It's been very good. I've noticed some people not picking it up in their pools as much recently. And I'm kind of curious if you guys out there that are watching this, are you guys still reading Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu? Because I've really enjoyed it. I think McKay has done a really, really good job with this series. But yeah, I know some people aren't reading it, so kind of curious as to why that is. But let me know down in the comment section below if you guys are still reading it, and if you did drop it, why you did drop it. So those are my pickups for the week. Let me know what you guys picked up this week. Obviously, in addition to the question I just asked you about Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu, let me know what you guys picked up this week for your Comic Book Wednesday. Now, one thing I did want to talk about that I've been seeing some other comic content creators do that I think is really cool is some reading goals. So let's discuss some of my reading goals for 2025. Now, like I just mentioned, I am a little bit newer to comics, so really kind of the first one that I wanted to do is just read more. So reading goal number 1 is just going to be to just read more comics. Now, I know that kind of seems like a little bit of like a cheat code. Obviously, it's one of those things I'm going to be doing hopefully this year, with it being like the first year that from the beginning of the year I'm into comics and reading them actively and everything. But I don't want to just keep it at comics. I also want to read more manga, and I want to read more just books in general. And when I say books, I want to do more like the classic stuff, the things that I've always wanted to read but never have, like things like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, maybe some Game of Thrones, stuff like that that are like these very well, highly regarded books that I've just never read. So those things I want to get into as well. But in addition to that, I want to continue to read comics and also pick up some manga pieces. I have a whole bunch of those that I have not got a chance to read as well. I actually do have a video coming out very soon on some manga hunting that I did with my brother at Books A Million. So that was super fun, and it's something I'm also very passionate about. So that's kind of the first reading goal, is just to read more. So switching back over to comics for our reading goals, one of the things I want to focus on as well is reading more DC comics. Now, like I said, I've not read a whole lot of comics because I started so late last year, and DC is probably the thing that I've read the least of. So as far as DC is concerned, the only things I've read is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and then the Absolute Universe stuff. And so I know there are so many fantastic DC runs out there that I really want to pick up and I really want to read and become more familiar with not only the stories, but the characters as well. And this is definitely in part to the DC universe really starting to kick off this year. We have Superman coming out later this year, and I'm absolutely stoked for that. I'm excited to be part of a DC universe that I've never really got to experience before in my life. The only thing DC related that I've really ever watched was the Dark Knight trilogy. Obviously, everyone's watched that and loved it. But yeah, I'm excited to learn a lot more about a bunch of these different characters. I did just finish up Creature Commandos a couple weeks ago. Absolutely loved it. It was really fun just being a part of a new world that isn't just Marvel. And I like to compare that to comic books for me, because as you guys know, big Funko collector. I've collected a lot of Legos in my life here recently. But comics was a new thing that was really picked up this past year in 2024. Like I said, again, reiterating myself, but the end of the year is when I really started getting into comics when we moved down here to Florida. So it's been fun in the same sense of learning comic books as I'm going to get to learn DC characters with the new stuff coming out this year. So super excited about that. So reading goal number 2 is to read more DC and just gain a better knowledge of not only the stories, but the characters as well. Now, coming in at my third reading goal, and that's where I'm going to keep it at for my reading goals for 2025, is I want to read more non-Marvel, DC, Star Wars stuff. I want to really broaden my library and not just be someone that's reading just the basic normal stuff that's coming out. Now, while some of that basic normal stuff is some of the best that there can be, such as Ultimate Spider-Man, Absolute Batman, you guys know it, TMNT, all that great stuff, I want to learn some more things about more writers in general and give more people an opportunity to, pique my interest, right? So I want to read some more Boom Studio stuff. I would love to read some more Image stuff, and I'm already reading a lot of Image. Image is one of my favorites, but I do want to read more of those stories that aren't really widely well known. I want to learn more about these other stories and these writers. I'm sure they have fantastic stories to tell, and there's been lots of people that are really enjoying the stuff coming out of Boom Studios, which is namely the one I want to get into the most. I don't have any Boom Studio books in my library outside of, I think I might have one or two. I couldn't even tell you what they are, though. For some reason, I feel like I have a couple. But other than that, I don't have any, and I don't even know what the ones that I might possibly have are. So I think that's a perfect reason for me to try to get into more Boom Studio books, try to see more of what they have going on over there. I think it'd be really great for me just to not strictly stick to Marvel, DC, Star Wars, TMNT. Now that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also turn that notification bell on so you never miss another video. I really enjoy doing these comic book videos. They're really fun, and I'm excited for this year. I have some reading goals set. I already have some great comics to really get me going into the year. I'm not as confused as I once was last year when I first started reading comics and knowing where to start, so I'm super excited about that. But like I said, I have a few homework things for you guys. I asked you guys to let me know if you're reading Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu, and if you're not, why you dropped it. Let me know what your comic book pickups this week were, because I love hearing what you guys are picking up and what you guys are interested in. And also let me know your reading goals as well. I think it's awesome to see what everybody else, what journey they're on with their comic books, their manga, their books in general. So I think that'd be really cool to see as well. But again, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you for next week's Comic Book Wednesday.